Yo, I'm alive, feeling good. What is up, y'all boys? Today is Tuesday. We had news this morning. Trump spoke at 8, but other than that, it was pretty clear. So let's go on to the charts. It was clear, other than that. So on the charts, on the higher time frame, we had been in this bearish downtrend where yesterday we made this just volatile retracement back up before pushing further, taking out these draws, and then rallying back up. So that was on the higher time frame, but let's scale down, see what we saw. And on NQ, we had SMT. So as you can see, on ES, we made a higher low, whereas in NQ, we made a lower low. Therefore, now looking at it, ES was the lagging index, but let me just show you guys what I was really looking at. So right here is market open. We get a big candle down, taking out these draws to the downside, but did not push past this low. We then came back up and rallied. At this point, I was thinking I wasn't even really going to place a trade because I had seen this. At the time, it looked like this. We had NQ making a downtrend where 9:30 we get the bearish candle, but then we see price rallies back up, which this could have been a great entry, but I don't usually one trade on NQ, or two, I don't usually trade before 9:50. So those are a part of my rules. Therefore, I wasn't really looking to hold on onto this kind of position, but I mean, on the higher time frame, we were bearish on NQ. It's pretty clear, in my opinion. And it was tricky. In the moment, it was tricky to see. So we had seen price came down, and then pretty textbook to say we had liquidity sweep, we broke structure to the downside, and then we see price makes a fair value gap, and then trails in, and then falls right back out. So you could have entered on this 5-minute candle closure in short, targeting this fair value gap, the top of that fair value gap, but then again, 261 ticks, which is like 130 on ES, and that's a pretty large stop loss. Therefore, it's not very optimal entry, but price kind of starts dilly-dallying right here. So instead of it just dropping further, we come back up and rally. We come back up to equilibrium, as you can see here. And I'm showing you NQ because NQ makes more sense for me to explain this session, what happened during this session. And then we see price taps equilibrium, doesn't close above, and then goes right back down. Which, like I said, if you would have held that position, that would have been solid. But What did I see on ES? On ES, I saw SMT because we came down, and just so on NQ, we came back up, rallied, and took out that fair value gap before pushing further, confirming on a doji candle. And then price, like I said, dilly-dally to the upside. But while it was doing that, we had a reversal. So what I saw was we took these draws to the downside, right? And then on the higher time frame, we are bullish. So hold on, let me blow my nose. So like I said, on the higher time frame, there were a considerate amount of draws on liquidity to the upside. So I'd seen we made this rally up. And although we saw an NQ we were bearish, on ES we made a liquidity sweep. We broke structure to the upside. Price makes a fair value gap where we come down and then exit through a doji candle. I enter. And as you can see, price just keeps sliding down. So, I mean, I wasn't disappointed to take this position. But then again, I think I would have been better off holding a bearish conviction because I had marked out these lows even before we had taken this move down. And I was on the wrong side. So what I had also seen was we filled that fair value gap by coming down. Price came back up. I saw that we came back up on ES, and I wanted to see continuation. But even on the 15-minute, as you can see, there was no real confirmation. Wasn't a horrible trade. It wasn't. I placed 3 micros. We had, like I said, no news really today. Bearish consolidation or a consolidated downtrend was what I would call today. Therefore, me looking for longs during a consolidated downtrend isn't very optimal. Or rather taking a position that looks like that. Come into equilibrium after making, so we have liquidity sweep, we broke structure to the downside, we made a fair value gap, price comes back up to fill more orders to the downside. We were also bullish on the daily on ES, which had furthered my conviction. That did not hold out for very long. That was the trade for today. All right, y'all boys. Um, yeah, that's that. I'm gonna catch y'all boys tomorrow.